Have you ever been in the most beautiful scenery? I don't know, hiking, and you just see nature. You're at the beach. You're seeing the crashing of the waves. You're in a moment, a park. It's just this beautiful sceneries, and yet all of a sudden your mind starts to race. You start to think about all that you have to do. Let's say you're on vacation. You start thinking and worrying about what you have to get back when you get back home. Constant internal turmoil, and as peaceful and restful as your body may be and the outside world might be, you just don't feel rested because inside of you, you're racing. And yet on the other hand, you can be in a place where like so much is going around you. I can tell you this right now. My downstairs neighbors, they're building a balcony. They're making so much noise, the drilling, the sawing, lots of noise. My husband is in the next room vacuuming. I've got pots cooking on the stovetop for Shabbat. A lot is happening in my home, and yet actually I feel a piece of internal tranquility knowing that like I know exactly what I need to do. I know what the goal is this morning. I feel connected. I feel quite peaceful. So what's going on here is that, yes, our bodies need rest. We need physical rest, but more than that, we need internal tranquility. And in fact, as much as my body's rested, if I don't have internal tranquility, I just don't feel peaceful and I don't feel rested. So we also have one day of the week with this concept of resting of our souls, menucha nefesh, as it's called, this tranquility, inner peace and tranquility. We have Shabbat, which is our day of menucha. It's our day of resting. What? The nefesh, the soul. So in this week's Parsha, we have where it says that the tabernacle, the Mishkan, which is where we derive all our prohibitions about what we don't do in Shabbat and how to maintain the sanctity of Shabbat. The Mishkan, the tabernacle, was dismantled and it was built. Dismantled and built, how? By the word of God, and throughout all the time that they were traveling in the desert. They would encamp, they would build it, they would, okay, it's time to go, we're traveling, and they would dismantle it. Now there is a discussion in the Gemara, Masechet Shabbat, Lamed Aleph Bet. And what is this discussion about? It's about when a person would be doing a prohibition of Shabbat based on the laws that you're not allowed to build on Shabbat. As in the Mishkan, the tabernacle they would build, and it's the idea of dismantling. So they say, when is it really a prohibition of dismantling? When you are dismantling with the purpose of building. To dismantle, destroy, that's something separate. But when you're dismantling with the purpose of building, so then you would be actually doing a prohibition of Shabbat. And what's the comparison? The comparison comes Rabbi Yossi, and he says it's like the Mishkan. The Mishkan was dismantled and it was rebuilt. But the other rabbis argue. They say, what are you talking about? It wasn't dismantled in that place to be rebuilt in a place. It was dismantled, but it was going to be built somewhere else. So it's not the same thing. You're not dismantling to rebuild. You're dismantling to dismantle here. You're going to travel and then you're going to build something. He says, no. How is it dismantling to be building? It's because everything was according to God's will. I'm dismantling for a purpose and I have this mission, and I'm building with that exact same purpose and mission. Therefore, there's a sense of tranquility and peacefulness and internal resting. Why? Because I know exactly why I'm doing it. So even when it seems like I'm destroying something, it's actually to build it. Because the destroying is for the building of the exact same mission, the exact same purpose. I'm following my goals. Such a huge lesson for us to learn about menucha nefesh, about internal tranquility. That I can be traveling, I can be walking, I can be in a storm, right? Again, I could be in constant motion. There could be waves crashing around me, and yet I can be that calm in the storm. I can be that like sensation of actually I can be on vacation in the midst of me working, and I could be working in the midst of me on vacation. Why? Because it's all about our internal tranquility. It's all about knowing that like when I stop, it's going to be for this purpose of building, and the building is for a purpose which is consistent with the purpose of why I stopped. And this is Menucha Nefesh. Blessing you all with a beautiful Shabbat Shalom. And it should just be filled with Menucha Nefesh, be filled with Menucha of Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom.